What's up, everybody? Bad Gamer, popping back in. It is time for Gametography, the show where we talk about games and tography, and we smush them together, and we have a great sandwich that's fantastic and tasty, and sometimes a little small but filling. What's up, everybody? We are back here, and I want to welcome back to the show Mr. Dot Pond. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hi, Lamb. Everything is okay.
Awesome. Lucky's here. Let's take a look at this chat here. Taunty was in the second that we went live with a countdown. It was amazing. Seraph is here, noticing the new opening screen-ish. And then Spiggy Smalls, what's up, Spiggy? All right, and Lucky is here. Oh my goodness, well, welcome, fam. Glad to see you here. Hey, Dot, what the heck has been up with you? What's going on? How's your week? What you been playing? Answer all the questions.
So everything is fine with me. I got a Nintendo Switch a couple of weeks ago, so I've been focusing more on that than anything else, playing some Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So far, the game is awesome, beautiful. Shame that it hasn't a photo mode, but Japanese developers aren't big on photo mode.
They don't believe in photo modes?
Okay. From what I see, the ones that have photo modes are like Devil May Cry, and even that is like really basic. And Kingdom Hearts 2 only had like the Gami phone. So, and when they do, they put the small watermark in all the screenshots.
Oh yeah,
and
same thing with Dynasty Warriors.
Only Japanese developers do that, as far as I know.
That's a good observation.
Yeah. I noticed back on Final Fantasy 15, and then I just started noticing that all the games are the same.
Yeah, alright. Cool. So what else you been up to? What else is new in the life of the Dot Bomb?
Well, yesterday I was invited to send some pictures to PlayStation for them to showcase on the Gamescom.
Oh, snap!
So that was fun. Yeah, I have to admit I cried a little when I received the message.
Nice. Hey, by the way, before Spiggy you go, thanks for that sub. I wanted to say it out loud for you. Thanks for the sub, bro. Appreciate it. All right. So what photo is being showcased?
They contacted me with asking one specific photo and for me to send my favorites. So I sent 8 of my favorites, and the one that they asked was actually one random screenshot that I took back in December of Detroit Become Human. Honor. Yeah, I edited a little bit, put it in black and white, and posted on Twitter, and they scrolled back to a post of December, so they had to search quite a lot.
Nice. So here's the thing, guys. I want to point out that and this is a totally different discussion, I know, but I want to point this out. Detroit Become Human does not have a photo mode, and yet you were able to grab a shot that could potentially be featured.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying, guys. Expand your horizons. That's a whole other show that we need to talk about.
Yep. And I would be gladly be part of it because I have like 200 shots of Life is Strange, and that doesn't have a photo
Doctor
mode
Strange.
either.
Oh, Life
No,
is Strange.
Life is
Life is
Strange.
Strange. Oh, sorry. You cut out and I heard Doctor Strange. I was like, there was a Doctor Strange game and I missed it?
If Doctor Strange had a game, I would have 200 shots of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is hard to photograph.
Can you imagine?
Hold on. Let's see here. Jesse, what's up, Jesse? Seraph, I will not expand my horizon into Detroit, neither the game nor the city. Tonti says it's really hard to photograph anything in Detroit become human. GG. Yes, I found that it was a challenge, and it's a good challenge. It was fun. The little bit that I did in it. So this week, you guys, you remember how for the past few years, even, or mostly in the fall, all the way through spring, I would say, well, I played Overwatch. And I played Overwatch. And I played Overwatch. Well, it's been... So I played Warframe. And then I played some Warframe. And then after that, I played some Warframe. Oh my gosh. I am addicted to that game. I mean, seriously. The gameplay, the Captura, I had to make sure that I didn't play it today while streaming because I would have gotten sucked in and distracted. So, let's see here. Sir, what is Warframe? I've never heard you talk about it before. Well, Warframe is about ninjas in space. Actually, it's about space ninjas because there's a difference. No, but yeah, I played some Warframe. I continued on with BioShock, the first one this week. So I played those two. See, did I play anything else? Oh, I was an idiot and bought a new game just because I'm interested in the photo mode.
Man.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't criticize that because I do that all the time. It's like it's the only reason why I want to buy a Playtale.
Which one? Oh, a Plague Tale, yes.
The one with the rats.
One of the reasons I bought that, but I also heard the story was really good. Yeah, so I picked up Days Gone this week. I got it for 33% off. I heard from a gentleman that I watch stream all the time, and we have very similar tastes in games, and music, and entertainment, and pretty much the quote the quote he has on his in his stream about somebody else, but I say the same thing. We're like brothers, except totally different parents, and we live nowhere near each other and are nowhere close to related. So, let's see. We're not judging. Even I'm not judging for once. What? Seriously? Weird. Are you feeling well, Sarah? But so I picked up Days Gone. And he says that he felt the same way about the game before he picked it up, and he thought, well, I might like it. I don't know. Other people like it, but he said, and he watched people stream it, and he was like, okay, I see people streaming it. It's not really drawing me in, but I'm still curious. Um, so no. Um, I forget how to. There it is. Okay. um, but he said once he got into it and started playing it, he absolutely loved it.
Well, to be honest, in the beginning it didn't click with me. I have the button. I have, what, I think the month of April
Yeah.
and May was basically just Days Gone for me. And in the beginning it didn't click with me because I'm not really open
Okay.
world
Right.
fan. I have played a couple of games, but not really that big of a fan. But the story gets really, really good after
Okay.
some point. After it gets going on,
Okay.
it's really good.
All right. I'm gonna take your word for it. Everybody's been telling me the same thing, but everybody told me the same thing about Red Dead Redemption, and I didn't get far enough in that game. I traded it in.
I prefer to not speak about Red Dead.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
Oh man. So yeah, so that was my week. Oh, actually no, I that wasn't my full week. I spent yesterday and Thursday at a leadership conference and am inspired with old ideas that I just have been ignoring or not using or not giving putting into action in our community. And the leadership team for the Gametographers and I will be meeting, doing a quick just chat sometime in September about the direction of our community and our group. So like just making sure that we're on the right track for what we all as leaders, not just me, because as I say almost daily, it's not about me, it's about we, what we want to do and how we want to see our part of the virtual photography community grow. And maybe not even grow necessarily in numbers, but grow as in self growth. So, you know, yeah,
That's really
yeah.
exciting.
It's
That's I'm really, really glad to hear that. I feel okay. This is totally off topic, but I feel
oh, hold on, you're cutting out.
I think people really need to sit down and discuss the future of our community in general. So having you guys do that is awesome because, well, this is something that we will probably touch in the future in a few moments. But people are I feel like they are really disappointed. I don't know if that's the correct word with game photography at the moment. I don't know. People are feeling really,
Yeah,
really down, and having people chat about the future and future projects that
awesome,
excites me a lot.
awesome. And yeah, so we'll keep you updated on that and where we are and what we're doing. And I mean that it may not look like, hey, here's another project that we're working on. It may be, hey, um, let's support this one person. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to make the decision by myself. Um, because I need our team, who's amazing. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Tonti and Seraph and Cats and Lady Snipe Shot, Disney Pix Chick, Godric Snow, Calvin. Although Calvin is getting married, so we've given him a little bit of leeway. He's got to plan that stuff. Uh,
Congrats.
uh,
Congrats.
Ghosty has some life stuff going on, so but I just want to give a shout out to our leadership team, um, and how they keep me inspired to keep looking at how to get better. Yeah, Calvin's getting. You didn't know Calvin? Yeah, that's Calvin's getting married. That's why he's been kind of off radar, sir. Um, I thought we've said so on the show before. But we just a special shout out to Taunty and Lady Snipe Shot and Disney Pix Chick for jumping in and doing streaming. Disney Pix Chick has had to take a break. Lady Snipe Shot has moved. She's back online, but we wanted to give her some time to get settled. And Taunty has stepped up in a big way. Surf, in particular, I think I'm in contact with Surf at least once an hour, 8 hours a day. At least. So I want to give a shout out to my buddy there. He's been very influential, and I appreciate you. I just want you to know that. I want to publicly announce that to you. All right, moving on before I get all sobby and weepy. So update on the gallery. Again, well, yes. Unofficial life coach. RGO hype train is on. I don't know what RGO is. What is RGO?
Rebel Galaxy or
Oh, Rebel. Yes, Rebel Galaxy Online. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about that. Gallery. I hope to be in contact with the second location this weekend, to find out what they've decided about us coming in there, and hopefully this weekend I'll talk to. I'll find out the actual date we're going to be going back up at the original location in their new facility. As far as our patrons, guys, if you want to support the gallery, you can become a patron. Where are you? There it is. I can't spell. I think that's it. Yeah, there it is. If you want to support the gallery, you can do it there. Patrons this month, because I was so late in delivering their benefits, are getting double benefits this month. So yeah,
nice.
I apologize for that. Again, public apology for being so late on that. We also will be giving away a game at the end of the month to one of our patrons. So, and then of course at the end of the month for this channel, we also give away a game. Which brings me to another way you can actually win a game or get a game. Come on, do better. We're going to be doing Extra Life again this year. November 2nd, where we have our team is all set. We kind of know our time schedule. We're getting materials out pretty soon to getting those designed. Cats and Bolts, amazing graphic designer, is going to be designing our stuff. So excited about that. But join us for Extra Life November 2nd, 8 a.m. to November 3rd, 8 a.m. We're gonna have Overwatch. We're gonna have Warframe. We're gonna have probably Rebel Galaxy. Maybe, I don't know. We're probably gonna have. We're definitely ending on our sleep deprived sail into the sunset. Sea of Thieves. So, is it too loud there, Tonti? Is it too loud? So yeah, so there's that as well. So news, a little bit of news for you guys. Oh, we can pay a ship with extra life. Oh my gosh. Music volume's good. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, news. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. Not Rebel Galaxy Online, but Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. It's a new game. You can watch the VOD. It's like 2 VODs ago. On this channel, Tonti played it. She checked it out. It releases with a photo mode on the Epic Games Store on Monday. It's coming soon to console, but I mean, thanks for the link there, Surf. It's coming soon to console, guys. I didn't get a chance to see the VOD yet because I was at that leadership conference. I'll be watching it later today, but I saw a little bit of Rebel. I've seen, and I think I own Rebel Galaxy Online. If it's anything like that, I'm probably in. So I'm just saying. So go ahead and share that link that that Surf just put in. There it is for you. Other news. The new game Control. Now, I don't have all my information on Control. But according to several articles, the Remedy Games' new game Control, which is coming out, is planning on having a photo mode. I remember seeing the trailer at E3, or during E3, and I was like, oh man, I hope that has a photo mode. And yes, Control will have a photo mode, so get hyped for it.
I read it about the photo mode, and I was trying to I was trying to in a store nearby to get the Steelbook
Yeah.
edition, and they sold out.
Man.
So yeah, if anyone knows of how can I get a Steelbook edition of the game in Portugal,
Yeah. Yes.
please.
Gotta remember, Dotpon is in Portugal. So, all right, buddies. That was overkill for the buddy. So, all right. Hey, Kareem, what's up, buddy? So yes. So now there was a nice article that I read from about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. It was by Ryan Guilford, and he at that time was saying there's an importance of photography in the gaming industry. And I just wanted everyone to know, if you go, yeah, I mean, that was 3 years ago, and his arguments were, if you will, first off, it's arguably an art form, and he goes into detail of that. It encourages learning, and that is the one thing that that I find when I'm doing my event photography. I find that I'm doing exactly what I do in photo mode. I try to get my top, I take fewer photos because I want to get back to the game. So if I'm at a concert, I take fewer photos because I want to sit back and enjoy that song. So I might do 10 shots of that song instead of 50 of that song, and then I go back off to the side and enjoy the song. Yeah,
That makes sense.
I stopped doing weddings this year, but I started doing that with weddings too, instead of shoot, go over here, shoot, go over there, shoot. I would maybe shoot 3 to 5 photos, stop, take in what was being said by the officiant, the priest, or whoever, or family members at the reception. I would stop and take it in and listen to like where they were ramping up, and so I would know exactly where the laughter was going to be, so I could catch the smiles. And I found that it really helped my IRL photography.
Well, I've been watching hundreds of videos about real life photography in order to improve my gametography, so I can relate a little bit on the learning part.
It's kind of the reverse of it. He also says it could lead to a job, which we know folks that have gotten jobs with developers because of it. Personal satisfaction.
Okay. Well, a couple of months ago, for those who don't know, actually Santa Monica Studio contacted me to make the theme, that they released a theme around the anniversary of Prolophone.
Oh, nice.
And they contact me to do that, and they end up doing original work in the studio. But
well, that's great. That's freaking sweet, dude.
And I have been doing this less than a year, so yeah, it can lead to jobs. I can attest to that.
So there's that. And personal satisfaction. I think that's probably one of the big things. Is the satisfaction we get from going back, looking at our stuff, and like, hey, that's not too shabby. It's okay to say about your own work, that's not too shabby. I mean, don't get a big head about it, because there's always somebody better. But realize
about that. Yeah. Okay, I spoke in the wrong moment, but about really liking your work. Photo Mode Addict on Twitter as Kill Your Darling.
Yes.
Basically, the challenge is to pick your favorite shot from last week, and I've been really liking that because it makes me appreciate my work in a totally different way. Like, what's the best shot that I took last week? And really be proud of it.
Sarah says, wait, what? I'm allowed to like my own work?
Well, as an artist, you're not. But as a person...
As an artist, I think that, and this is, again, I'm using knowledge that I just learned. But we have to realize that the majority of us are average. And that's okay because somebody's going to be average. Not everybody is going to be that top 10%. You know, 80% of the work is of 80%. That's a different rule. But 80% of what is out there is that average, and that's fine. Because that's where you, if I look at my work and I say, oh, it's so horrible, and or oh my gosh, that's not nearly as good as so and so. Oh my gosh, I wish I could blah blah blah. If I dig myself deeper into that, I'm never going to get to that next step, which may be in that average bracket. If I say, oh, my stuff is the best, I'm on the top 1%, blah blah blah, where am I gonna grow? How can I grow? We have to be happy.
Preach.
We have to be not satisfied, but content in the moment of where we are, so we can get better at what we want to do.
Yeah, and a thing that you said, like, if we think that we are in the 1%, don't say it at once.
Yeah, I mean, that's where tact and it comes in. Even if you are in that 1%, hey,
Don't say it out loud.
If you see something that, somebody comes to you and helps you, asks for help, you know what? In my experience, I've gotten this, and this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I would do. Anyway, so we are way off show notes right now.
I noticed.
Oh my goodness! All right. So Gametographer of the week, guys, is Raider_Warrior. You guys, Raider_Warrior. Dot and I have both enjoyed her work, and not only her work but her attitude.
Yeah, she's really, really sweet to everyone, even people that might not be so nice. She always is really, really sweet.
What I've also noticed, and this is a big thing for me, if all people do is retweet, I tend not to follow them. But if they don't retweet some and don't give back, Surf says, ditch the show notes, you two are doing great. Santi says, great topic.
If someone retweets a lot, you usually don't.
Yeah, I don't follow them. If I don't see them supporting the community and it's all about me, I tend not to follow them. She does it so well.
Well,
she does that balance so very well. Of, hey, look at these other folks and what they're doing. This is what I did this week. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was thinking about, I never thought about that that way. But yeah, she does that. Yeah.
I'm like, she's so good. So go check her out, Raider_Warrior on Twitter. She may have some other. Hey, thanks, Tonti. Tonti put it up there. Put the Twitter link in there for us.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tonti. All right. So let's talk about social media. Since we just mentioned Twitter, let's talk about Gametography
Nice segue. Nice segue.
I'm getting better at this game. um, let's talk about that. Social media practices. All right. So let's talk about the different platforms that are out there. There are so many different platforms out there that you can post images on. But as a community, we find ourselves on 3 or 4 main platforms. There's Twitter, Instagram,
My
Flickr,
favorite. And don't like it that much. Just started on it. No opinion
and
yet.
Facebook.
I started on there.
All right. So let's talk about the big dog in the gaming industry. Even it's honestly being in social media is just what I did for a living for 2 years, and now it's part of what I do now. Twitter. All right, we're gonna start with the Twitter is big for gaming. It's big for news. Some entertainment, but I get entertainment and news in the same thing. Yeah, Syrup. AOL chat rooms are still the best way to share gametography. So let's talk about Twitter. What successes have you found on Twitter? Like, what has led to your success? Because you have a decent following on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that, actually. Yeah. So the first time I noticed that I actually have a following on Twitter was a couple of weeks ago. My girlfriend's dog got hurt, and I posted on Twitter, and people started to offer to help with the
wow.
bills. And first of all, faith in humanity restored. Second of all,
Yeah.
it was awesome. And that was the first time that I actually felt like people were seeing what I posted besides
Right.
gametography. And it felt really, really, really great. But I think the best thing about Twitter, and I have seen a couple of posts of people commenting on about this, is that if you want developers to notice you, the Twitter is the right place. On Instagram, very rarely do they comment, like, share your content, but on Twitter, I found out that every game I play and every game I posted regularly, the developer or someone on the team noticed my work, and that's the big advantage that Twitter has. I think I built my following because Santa Monica Studios retweets my posts a lot. I've had several conversations with the guys over at Gamergram, back in when they were active Virtuacam, and those are not as easy to see on Instagram,
Right.
for instance. Gamergram has a big
Yes, they
following
do.
on Twitter, on Instagram, but Virtuacam wasn't on Instagram. Urban Tentacles wasn't on Instagram. So Twitter has a way make your work get noticed that I feel other social media doesn't have.
Okay. Now, just for you guys, just for reference, guys, Dot Pond started on Twitter less than 2 years ago. Less than 3 years ago. Less than 3 years ago. Close to 3 years, but
1 year. 1 year.
oh, as far as virtual photography goes. But you were on there.
No. I created the Twitter, but I never used it.
Ah, okay. So a year.
Yeah,
So maybe
nothing
a
was
year
in there.
ago. almost 1,500 followers less than a year ago. In contrast, here I was going to put this up here. Let's see here. Let's go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I started. When did I start? I started in April of 2014. Really, probably doing more digital photography stuff maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I've got 1,248 followers. So I'm just saying, if you want to see how someone's doing it right, you might want to go follow.pong.
Thank you.
Just saying. So that, with that in mind, so let's talk about what are the cons of having a Twitter. Like, why, what's and Surf, you don't get to answer this.
He doesn't have a
he
Twitter,
doesn't have
right?
a Twitter. He's anti-social media.
I searched. Once it's really, really, really lose yourself in all the toxicity, the constant hot takes, unpopular opinions, people just being bad people.
And I would also say, being a virtual photographer, and a popular one at that, I would say for you probably hold on, I gotta take this shot. Oop, I missed. He's dead. But you probably get pinged in a lot of stuff. Sarah says, I'm not anti-social media, I just make fun of it.
Actually,
No?
not really. Because I in the beginning, a little bit, but maybe transparent.
Oh, we lost you, you're breaking up.
It might my battery losing battery really fast. So at the beginning, yes. Nowadays, not so much. I don't mind it if I'm tagged in photos. I'm okay with it, but those threads like say 3 games that you played when you were little and tag 3 other people.
Yes.
Those kinds of things, yeah, that happened quite a bit, but I made sure to make clear that I don't like to be tagged on those. So nowadays, rarely happens me being tagged in anything, actually.
Huh. Awesome. I know that as conversations go, like if it becomes a one-on-one conversation in a tweet, I personally will, if I'm responding back, I try to untag everyone that I'm not responding to. So I don't need the developers to know that I'm thanking so-and-so for liking my photo. So I take the developers off.
That's an option.
And I'm not sure everybody knows that because it happens a lot.
Whoa, I had no idea that was an option. I need to look on it.
Totally an option.
Yeah, because I worry about that. Yeah, I will. How? That's something really interesting, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching me
You're
something.
welcome. Oops. All right, so there are. Let's see here. Good guy BG always loved getting notification for conversations because people didn't didn't remove tags. Yeah, this is Sarah. Um, so and so let's move on to, let's say, Instagram. We're just gonna hit some highlights because we're running low on time. Instagram.
I'm on a little bit of an hiatus on Instagram right now.
Yeah.
I, it's it's different somehow. Your pictures lose a lot of qualities. Like you spend a lot of time in the game framing the pictures, but on Instagram you only have a small square.
Or you can actually do,
Put it.
if you want to do a portrait mode, and the aspect
Yeah.
ratio is 4:5. So it's like having an 8:10 photo.
Okay.
So if you're using any post editing software, it's 4:5, and then you can kind of frame it up in game if you're doing a portrait orientation. If you're doing landscape orientation, you can keep it 16:9. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be.
Okay. Well, my problem with Instagram goes a lot about that. Well, Instagram has really. It's only about the photos, not about the community aspect of it. It's the share the comment, think about the comment. That's it. People don't actually share your shots a lot, or promote your shots a lot. You either put them on Insta stories and have people coming over. I don't know. Instagram is just weird. And then there is the partner stuff.
Which I never understood. I never
So
understood the partner.
well, I do partnerships. I have some
Talk to me
partnerships,
about that.
but I never understood a couple of those.
Oh, we're losing you.
I might have to change controllers. You might lose me for a few seconds.
Fine.
Wait
That's
a
fine.
little bit.
I'll
Just a sec.
fill in, because we got some comments in the chat there. Sir says we're not allowed to run low on time. Tonti says image stealing is rampant on Instagram. Back when Cats and Bolts was active as Credit Crab, she said the difference was huge between Instagram and Twitter. And Sir flips the table.
Okay.
Yes,
Can you
totally.
hear me now? And yes, image stealing on Instagram is crazy. It's just crazy. I don't understand. I don't even understand why people would steal an image.
I do. I'm not saying that I would do it, but I understand why. Because the age, the median age on Twitter is older than the median age on Instagram, and some of the younger generation is emboldened by, you can't find me, I'm just gonna grab what I want. And so I think that is a bit of that. Was that Prue Bear for the lurk? What's up, baby? But yeah, I would definitely say that it's about that age group, and not hating on the age group, but hating on the maturity level that they're at. You know?
Yeah. Actually, I'm at one point that I don't care about stealing anymore.
That's kind of where I am now. Jane Bear! Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Thanks,
cool.
Jane.
It's cool. Right.
right now I'm at one point that I get a couple of my shots stolen per month, and I don't even report it. A couple of weeks ago, some of my Spider-Man shots got stolen on Twitter, and my post got like 200 likes,
Yeah.
200 faves, and the 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 stolen post got 19k
Shut
likes.
up.
Yeah, it went viral, and I was like, okay, I'm done, like worrying it. If people want to find me, they will.
Yeah, that's kind of where we have to go. There are pages with 10,000 followers, and they just take your pictures. Man, I hate Instagram, but I can't quit it. I don't want the page to die there. Tonti says, congrats on 19,000 likes. Well played, sis. Well played indeed. Yeah, I mean, see it on the bright side. Actually, and here's the thing. I kind of have to see it that way. I work for a nonprofit, and I shoot a lot of events, and I am in charge of their social media. So if they have 30,000 followers, I've got 30,000 followers. You know, if one of their likes, you know, one of their pictures on Instagram gets, you know, 150 likes, fantastic. I got 150 likes. So that's kind of how I see it from there too. Awesome. I think that one of the positives of Instagram, though, is that it is primarily photos. It's a great mix of photo and conversation and learning. So there's this new game that I've been trying out. It's called Warframe, and hey Kendall. Yeah, see, Kendall likes Instagram. We were talking about some of the negatives
Why?
of Instagram. Like for Gametographers, a lot of your stuff gets stolen. Warframe, never heard of it. But the positives that I have found on Instagram is you have to that it's that nice blend of conversation and photo. I think Twitter is
I never had
Really?
a conversation on Instagram.
Oh, I have conversations all the
Yeah.
time on Instagram. It's not necessarily on my photos, but like there are things that I'm getting done in here. I'll show you some of them real quick here. Some of the raw images in Warframe here that I started doing that I would have never figured out if I didn't reach out to people that all they do is Instagram. You know, and it's not.
And that's the reason why I moved to Instagram a little. Why I started Instagram, because I found out that there are tons of VPs that don't have
Right.
Twitter accounts.
So, I mean, like, I didn't know. I saw the other day this thing. It's called a K drive. It's coming up, by the way, on the Twitch stream. Yeah.
On the stream,
but
yeah.
I have this thing called a K drive. I saw it before on a post, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" And they told me not only what it was, but how to get it. There's so much in this game. There you go. Looking at your gallery, I feel happy to see. Lucky, I promised you I would start doing more, and I always try to keep my promises. I'm not always great at it, but I do try. But yeah, I've learned so much, and the other thing I like about Instagram is the use of hashtags. The hashtag use on Instagram is fantastic. Kendall says, Instagram is how I met most of my cosplay photographers. There it is. It's great for a platform for a few things. Yeah. Kendall does amazing cosplay. I don't know how she does all this stuff. But I mean, I've started to look at cosplay on Instagram, and I'm integrating that into Warframe, which is how I got the idea for some of what I'm doing here. That's Nidus, and I did 3 versions of him. I did Nidus in water, I did Nidus water, fire, and earth. And because I was looking on Instagram, and I just saw these Avatar Last Airbender cosplays, I was like, "Oh snap! I could probably do that there." It was really, yeah. It was really good. Yeah. Hold on here. Well, space surfboards are alright, I guess, but you can, but can you spray paint your spaceship? Oh yeah, agreed with Tonti. That insta inspo, yes. So yeah, I mean, inspiration from Instagram, I like it. If I want to look up, if I do hashtag color palettes on Twitter, I'm gonna get a lot of discussion about color palettes. If I do hashtag color palettes on Instagram, I'm going to get a bunch of pictures, and then I find the color palette that I want, and then I can look to see that, you know, they might discuss about how they came up with that color palette. That might inspire me to do other things. So there are there's definitely pros and cons to each.
Yeah, I understand that the Instagram, the part that is failing for me, it's probably from my side of it, because I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, so I don't comment a lot of other VPs. So it might be one of the things I need to learn. I'm actually thinking about returning, but not soon.
Right. No, understandable.
And it's the most popular social media platform right now so it's a really good place to be.
And that's overall. I think if you're specializing in gaming and gametography, virtual photography, then Twitter, you definitely need to have a presence there. So let's move on and talk a little bit about Flickr.
I started one this week.
Flickr is, hold on here. Kendall says, Twitter I find easier for sharing my 3D model renders because it posts the full-size image or close to it, whereas Insta forces you to use the square. Actually, Kendall, you can actually do full 16:9, or if you need to do a vertical, you can do portrait orientation. You can do 4:5. So, just saying. Oh yeah. Oh good lord, yeah. You totally missed the quality. But it's there for those that aren't going to be on that other platform. Especially for those 3D renders. Let's see here. Tonti says, I think there's a community on there. I think she's talking about Flickr. I just use Flickr. Yeah, there you go. To upload in full resolution. I'm talking about Flickr, she says. Stop. Get out of my head, Tonti. You said it before I even said it.
Actually, I found something on Flickr that I was looking for on Twitter, on Instagram,
Communities?
everywhere.
What's
the albums? The album
Oh
The albums.
yes,
The albums are.
yes.
Yes. I was looking for that for so long. Now that Twitter has taken the moments option of the new in the new
Yeah.
layout, I'm I'm really finding stuff that I love
Yeah.
on Flickr.
Yeah.
So thank you Twitter for helping me to Flickr.
Yes, Flickr is fantastic. Flickr allows, and that's the thing. I think Flickr is the opposite of Twitter, where Twitter is mostly conversation and text with photos, and Flickr is more photos with maybe a line or two. Okay. And Tonti says, wait, what? What did Twitter do with moments?
So basically, in the new layout, you can't create moments right off, or you can't add a tweet to the moment from the tweet. You have to copy the link from the tweet, go to the moments tab, and add it there. So for moments like what people have been doing, like use this hashtag and you will be featured on my moment, it's really hard working. I spent 1 hour and a half trying to figure out how the new Twitter moment thing works about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it's pretty bad.
Tonti flipped the table. Oh, that's funny. Oh man, you guys. So yeah, so I like Flickr. I love the albums in Flickr. Should we riot, sister? We'll storm we'll storm Flickr headquarters the same day that they I mean it's Flickr Twitter headquarters the same day that they storm Area 51. Let's do that.
Well, in their defense, I don't see a lot of people using moments outside of gametography. So it's only natural that they don't want to I'm missing the word, to support a function that no one uses.
Come on. Okay, I just started the action back up. How does that not... Oh my gosh. I'm dead. Alright. Which is okay, because we need to concentrate on the conversation. So yeah, so that's Flickr. Now let's talk about Facebook. A lot of people say that Facebook is dying. I disagree. I say Facebook as we knew it might be dying. But Facebook itself is not. I think that that there's a different audience on there. It's mainly
An older
not just an
audience?
older audience. I would say it's going to be more of a business audience. I think that Facebook is going to be more. It's going to be millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers. You're not going to see your Gen Ys or Gen Zs on there. So if that's who you're trying to reach, it's probably not going to happen. But the other thing is, those folks are the folks in the positions that, if you're trying to reach a developer, that's where they are. That's that age.
But they are
They
on
are
Twitter.
also on Twitter. Yes,
The
yes, they
developers.
are. But they are also personally on Facebook.
But they are personally on Twitter.
All right, now.
All the time. Like, Insomniac is all over Twitter.
So you're saying millennials are killing non-millennial social media? Yes, they are. They're on there all the time. I would say more for work than for pleasure, or communication,
Okay.
or relationship building, because that's what Facebook is trying to do. Facebook is trying to turn it back to what it was, not necessarily for the college age student, which it was for. It was a social platform, a more relationship building platform. But they're doing it now for an older crowd than what they were doing before.
Okay, I can see that
Right? Because
somehow. I'm barely on Facebook anymore, so
I have to live on Facebook for.
I will
I have
trust
to
your
live on
word.
Facebook for work. So, I see more. I'm having more just regular conversations with folks on Facebook. Some of my friends that are in my age group or a little bit younger, like I'm on the cusp of millennial. I'm Gen Xer, but I'm on the cusp of being in the millennial group. My millennial friends say I'm an honorary millennial.
How old are you?
Okay, let me ask you this: how old did you think I was?
30.
And now you're one of my best friends. You started off with 30.
Okay.
I am.
Oh.
I am
Okay.
just so everybody knows, I am 44. Yeah.
Really?
This turned into a date. Taunty.
I wouldn't.
Lucky TM.
You are probably the oldest gametographer out there.
I don't know. Dude is priest. How old is he?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but this is beautiful. We are way over time, way off topic. Jubileums.
One might say you are the van of
The what?
gametography.
The
dad.
vet? Oh, the
father.
No. The dad. We need Dot as a guest more often. You're not wrong, Seraph.
Oh,
You're not wrong. But yeah, I would say that I have more conversations
Facebook.
with folks. I have friends in other countries that we use Facebook Messenger to call each other and just talk. Feel the love. All right. Kendall says, right, I'm back. I just had a chat with my neighbor as she wanted to know why I was singing without music. Tonti, thanks for the bits. You don't look 40 plus at all. Lucky, I also need to work out. This is genes. There's a phrase that I'll share with you later, because it's not very PC. But what was I saying? Yeah, so we are there to build those relationships. So that's why I think Facebook, if you're trying to build a community, you can build a community on Facebook if your community falls within that, and this is very elementary. But if your audience falls within the groups that's there, honestly, the Gametographers have a Facebook. We barely use it because our audience, our community, isn't there. We have it for those of us that are those users. You know?
Well, if you want, I can link you a private group on Facebook.
Yeah.
About on Gametography, and people are posting there like every minute. It's insane. I know there are people there.
Okay, cool. That'd be great.
I don't think. But that's it. That's a private chat, a private group.
Oh, nice. Awesome. It's a Over a Beer podcast. Hey, thanks for that follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. I'm Bad Gamer Elite. We got Dot Pawn, who is joining us as a guest on the Gametography show.
Hi.
And we do this show every Saturday that we possibly can. This is our 75th episode. 75 episodes, guys. How did we make it we made it to 75 episodes, you guys. Anyway. Yeah, almost 100 episodes. That's crazy sauce. All right. Where were we? I have no idea where we were. We're so off topic. Oh yeah, Facebook.
I will try to put the group on the chat.
Oh, it might not let you do that. You'll probably have to message it to me, and then we'll talk about. Oh, put it in Discord. Put it in our Discord. And hey, look at my socials in the Discord. By the way, if you're wondering where he's putting that in our Discord. And if you want to get to our Discord, this is how you do it. You say, "Hey Lem, how do we get to Discord?" And then Tonti puts it in there, as I'm trying to type on my iPad. Thank you, Tonti. Hey, thanks, Kendall. Kendall was gonna do that. So yes. So we just touched on these social media practices and touched on social media such. So go have a look at that. It is not 11:15 as it's supposed to be. We did not end the show at 11:30, and we still have the question of the week from Dot Pond. What's
Oh, Oh, sorry. I forgot.
That's okay.
I was
See,
supposed
the
to
reason
pick
I gave this to you, because I knew that even if you forgot, you do these questions on your Twitter that are just great. So I figured you could just go to your Twitter and say your last one.
Okay, my last one. Oh, my last one was actually about social media. If following is a good strategy on social media in general, not just Twitter. A lot of people comment that I was talking about Twitter. I wasn't talking about Twitter. Every social media, following. Is it a good strategy or not?
Okay. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Okay.
Go first, please.
I think that follow for follow is jack. No. Because if the only reason you are following someone is to get them to follow you back, that is not a healthy relationship. That is a relationship, that's a conditional relationship. Granted, all relationships have conditions, but that is a feeble condition to start with. You start following somebody because you have an interest in what they do. You start following somebody because you see something in what they're doing that is beneficial to you at the minimum and others as well. I think that, like for instance, I didn't follow Kendall right away. I think I watched like 2 or 3 of her streams before I decided to follow her on Twitch. I wanted to see if she was A, consistent, B, someone I would enjoy hanging out with, because that's what you're doing on Twitch, is you're hanging out with somebody. C, does she have knowledge that I don't have that I could use later in life? Now, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. So if you've ever watched a Kendall Kingdom Hearts 3 stream, you know all of those boxes were checked. If you ever watch a Kendall Detroit Become Human stream, you know all those boxes were checked. Yeah, well, you're here, and I need to shout you out, sis, because she's one of the reasons, she's one of 3 people that got me to play and finish Kingdom Hearts 3, which is...
Did you play any of
I
the other
played the
ones?
first one, quit at Tarzan. Played the second one, quit somewhere in the beginning, and then Dream Drop Distance. All 3 of those people.
Did you understood anything about the lore of the
Yes,
the
because
first game? The story?
Yes,
of
I did understand it because I watched a 20-minute video of this guy who broke it down super simple. So I understood a lot of it. But that again, I'm getting into other realms of discussion, but that's my follow for follow. And actually, we have some stuff in chat. Surf writes, question of the week, who is more wholesome, BG or Dot Pwn? Tonti says, don't make me choose. Surf says, yes is a valid answer. Tonti says, yes. Kendall says, I don't think follow for follow is a good thing, mainly because there's a super high chance someone only follows you back to boost their own numbers. Yeah, follow for follow is weird to me, says Tonti. Same here. Says Lucky. And then Kendall, speaking of Detroit Become Human, literally had a rant about Ralph for like 40 minutes at the last one. and then Tonti shouted out Kendall. Thank you for the shout out there. By the way, she was doing some Twitch sings today, and she's not right now. I'm upset because I missed a bunch of it. Anyone who asked for a follow is only trying to help themselves, not you, says Suraf. Go ahead.
Yeah, but people don't usually ask for it. I think, and I never did it, but it's tempting, and it's tempting because it's easy to grow as a person. If you have, maybe you don't do follow for follow in a conscious level, but on a subconscious level. If you have as many followers as you are following people, I see people that have that follow everyone.
That follows them. Yes.
Follows
yes.
them. Yeah, and they are not doing it on purpose, but the truth is a way to catch that person, to make sure that person won't unfollow you after some time. And as a strategy, I can see that people can, you start a Twitter account, Instagram account, whatever, and you start at 0. If you start following like 1,000 people, like if half of those followers follow you, you get 500 followers. If 10% of those followers like your photos, in less than a week you have 50 likes per photo.
Right.
On each of your posts. So if you do the math, it's a strategy that can work itself out, even if just to boost you a little bit in the beginning. But you also need to be very careful because those are not your real followers.
Exactly.
those are people that are only interested in numbers. And if you are in for the numbers, good for you. I have said it like a couple of times. I really care about numbers on Twitter. I will not sell my soul to get those numbers, but I do care. I do care that I'm getting too close to um, 1,500 followers. But I will not follow like 50 accounts to get that,
Right.
those 20 that are missing. And that's my problem. I this week I saw someone that does a follower for follower post a random video, a video that shouldn't have gone viral because it's a clip from a movie from years ago that got like 10k retweets or something. It was crazy. And and it was actually that person that inspired my question, because it's really easy to look at those numbers and think, well, maybe I should do that, and I have numbers.
No, I don't think that's because it's
my
not
account.
about, honestly, in social media, it shouldn't be about how many you have. What's the engagement on what you're doing. So if
And that's what I understood after a couple of months on
it's
Twitter.
not about how many you have, because honestly,
Yep.
if you look at, let's take a look back at Instagram. If you look at music artists that have millions of followers, percentage wise, their engagement is the same or close to your average Joe, because they'll have 1 to 5% on the majority of their tweets. It's 1 to 5% of their people are engaging with it.
Yeah. I recently had to look at I look at them all the time, but I recently had to look for professional reasons my engagement numbers on Twitter, and I found out that on July I got 11k visits to my profile. And I was like, how? How? It's crazy, like to think that more people that I have followers have visited my profile
Yep,
only on
and
that month alone.
people just don't follow.
And
That's the thing. People just won't follow.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. You'd be surprised how many groups are there on Facebook, Discord, where follow for follow is promoted hard. I think there's even Twitch teams that focus on it somewhere. It says Kendall. Surf says, if I ever get back on Twitter, I'm going to buy 5 million Russian bot followers just to be the best. Yeah, he also says, I believe it, Kendall. So many people are just in this to see the number of followers on their account to rise. So many. Kendall says, it also depends on how many people someone following you is also following, as your posts may also only show on their screen for a microsecond. Yeah, it's a shame people chase the fame more than the community you can get. Surf comes back, says, I think a lot of people believe that the idea that having followers nets more followers, but I don't think that pans out for more people. Let's see, hold on. People with 2 million followers who get like 1.5k retweets is a very real thing. But whatever floats your boats, if people get pleasure out of it, then more power to them. And I am not immune to the artist syndrome of I want people to see my work, I want more people to see my work, I want more people to see my work. But at my personal core, and this is why I surround myself with people like this, it's about our community. Right now, we have single-digit viewers. But that's okay, because every single one of you that is here and watching is part of our community and is part of the growth and just the I don't even know what I'm saying. You're awesome, is what I'm saying.
But they are so consistent that they come back every time. That even if it's like it's the community aspect of it. We don't know each other in real life. We might spend hours talking with each other about
Yes.
something that we love, and you don't need to have 1 million followers to get that. I will argue that if you have 1 million followers, you won't
No,
find that.
then it's more like
it's something-
you're not a community, you're a city.
Yeah, that's a really nice metaphor.
Cool.
And it bugs me that people really like sell their soul for followers. I don't know. It's tempting. I understand the temptation, but I would never do it.
Cool. Well, I think we are 30 minutes over what we do, and not that much, not that much at all. I've gotten 5 pictures done, just because this is such a great conversation. I want to encourage you guys again to 30 minutes over, of course. Yeah, thank you, Tanti. This has been a great stream. I want to again give a shout out to those of you who come into our stream, being part of it. 10 more hours, says Jesse. To be part of that. And specifically, I want to shout out again Tanti and Pon, whose first language is not English, but they are doing everything they can to bring the great content here and killing it. I want to point that out to those of you who don't know. English is not Pon's first language, but he's here, and I guarantee you, if it's up to me, he's going to be back. Pon, where can they find you?
Oh, well, you can find me right now only at Twitter at .pon. I'm off most social media right now.
Kendall says, by the way, Kendall is from the birthplace of my language. She's from the UK. What I would have never have guessed. So there you go. You can find me as Bad Gamer Elite on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, probably, yeah. And Flickr for sure. Bad Gamer Elite. And the Gametographers as Gametographers on Twitter, and you're already here, so the Gametographers on Twitch, and the Gametographers on YouTube. DA Gametographers. All right. Excuse me, but English did not exist until Americans invented it. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Bad Gamers Unite. Gametographers, keep on snapping. Peace.